Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Clangin and Bangin with Mikey, episode 208. And first things first, Happy New Year. Hopefully your holidays was great. Hopefully everything that you guys wanted for Christmas, y'all got. I got some clothes and a book. You know, I don't really splurge on myself for Christmas, man. Like unless well, I take that back. I bought some new speakers for the truck. You know what I mean? That's about it. You know, it's like surprisingly, I haven't bought any shoes yet. I don't know. Something must be wrong with me, right? You know, because y'all see my shoe collection. Anyway, man. On this episode 208, what we're gonna talk about, man, is I've had a lot of people make mistakes, myself included. And it's a learning process, right? You don't want the same thing twice. You want something better. And a lot of the times, from my personal experience, when you're dealing with relationships and whatnot, people let their anxiety take over. They let their anxiety, control what the situation is. And a lot of the times people will talk them out of something great simply because their anxiety is so heavy. And they think that, X, Y, and Z happened, and so I'm gonna not do anything because my anxiety is too high, right? Or it's like people want to talk about looking for the perfect person or looking for the perfect partner. And in reality, it's like, no, you're not gonna find the perfect partner because a perfect partner doesn't exist. The perfect partner is a myth, man. It's like, because like I just said, we all make mistakes. We're all gonna fumble and stumble. We're all gonna do X, Y, and Z. We're all gonna say something that we don't mean to say, and it's just something that happens, right? And a lot of people, instead of them just sitting with their emotions and trying to figure out what's appropriate and what's not, a lot of the times people will be like, they'll make up excuses for their shitty behavior. And me myself, and like, I get it. I understand it. Because it's easier to hide behind your anxiety than to deal with what you really want. It's like, take for instance, right? Let's say you got a girlfriend or a boyfriend, whatever it is, right? And they're trying to put up these walls and they're trying to do X, Y, and Z, they're saying all this shit, they don't necessarily not trust you, but they have reservations, right? And which is true, because I get it. Everybody should have reservations. Everybody should be thinking, logically when they're in situations. You don't just throw caution to the wind just because you're getting laid every weekend or you doing X, Y, and Z every weekend, because that's not conducive, right? And that's not a healthy relationship. Also, too, it's what's important is when you have conversations with this individual, you have to make sure that you should always be careful with what you say, because not everything's a say it moment. Everything's some things are definitely a thinking moment, right? But you also have to have the difficult conversations as well. Like, don't sit there and be like, oh yeah, boom, 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 yada, 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 whoop-de, whoop-de, whoop. Because you don't know how another person's gonna react to it, right? And there's a time and a place for everything. It's a time and a place for everything. And I think a lot of people, when they get into relationships, they just automatically forget that they're individuals, right? I, for one, when I'm in a relationship, I'm not gonna stop doing what makes me happy. I'm not gonna stop working out. I'm not gonna stop creating music. I'm not gonna stop, doing everything that makes Mikey, right? Because when you stop doing that and you just focus 100% on this person, don't get me wrong. Attention is necessary. Attention is great, but attention doesn't mean 24/7, 365, right? You know, attention doesn't mean that you're gonna blow off a whole Saturday night, simply just because, right? And I think that's important, man, because it's like I've literally had girls in college, you know, and this is before I even started competitive bodybuilding, right? It's like I was always in the gym, you know, so I naturally people got attracted to me because I always looked good, I was always in decent shape, but it didn't really pop off until after, until I started competing, right? Then I got my diet in check, got my nutrition, everything was in room, everything was in check, right? And my body responded to it. And so with that being said, man, a lot of the times people will think, oh yeah, well, you're going to the gym because you're trying to impress somebody else. It's like, nah, I was doing this shit well way before you was in the picture. I remember once I had this girl tell me, my college girlfriend, I should say. She goes, all you do is spend time in that fucking gym. Like, who you working out for? What? I said, I'm working out for me. And she's like, oh, you gotta spend 2 hours in the gym every day. I'm like, it's what I do. It's fun for me, Why wouldn't I stay, as long as I possibly could, right? And it kept me out of trouble, for the most part, But everybody else is out there getting drunk and fucking catching DUIs and doing all kinds of stupid shit. I was in the gym. Friday night, I'm in the gym. After classes, I'll be in the gym. I was always working out, and but yeah, I remember that though. She's like, well, and then she said, well, it's me at the gym, and I said, okay, cool, it's nice knowing you. And I talked to her maybe once or twice after that, then stop talking to her. My point is like never stop being you. If you love to read or if you love to write or if you love to draw, whatever it is, it's like still do those stuff, man. It's like there was a point in time when slam poetry was real popular here. So I was going to slam poetry meets like every week, and it's like when you're dealing with things like that, and it's like and people get naturally drawn towards you, and I get it, because who wouldn't want to be drawn to somebody who's got so much going on, right? And I was never the popular kid. I was never the kid that everybody knew. I was that fat, chubby kid who walked with who walked funny, right? And I think that's important, man. It's like to understand that it's okay to be you. And what I was about to say in this, what I'm trying to get to in this episode is never change up for who you are. And there's no need to apologize for who you are either. I know a lot of people when they get in situations they automatically apologize. I'm like, oh, like what are you apologizing for? It's not your fault. But that's a deeper psychological issue that they have going on, right? And it's not that it's bad, it's just that it's an issue. And majority of it has to do with people pleasing, right? And I'm not saying that all people who do this are people pleasers, right? But it does make sense. It does track, because when you're dealing with things like this, You have to understand that, yeah, it's okay. You know, it's like, you know, you're not everybody's cup of tea, and you know that's fine. You know, like, stop thinking that you have to be somebody else's punching bag when you really don't, right? And I think a lot of it has to do with like knowing how to read the room and knowing how to understand that not everything's meant for you. Not every conversation that that happens you have to be involved in. You know, you don't have to know everything that goes on. Because I'm like, yo, how's that affect you? Like, how does that affect you? Because at the end of the day, if that's the case and if that's how you feel, that's fine. You can feel that way, but please remember that your feelings are only valid towards you, right? And that's my whole point of this podcast, man. It's like to make people understand. When I do episodes, make people understand it's okay to feel what you're feeling. You know, it's okay to to go through shit. It's okay to have emotions. It's okay to show this shit. It's never okay to try to project your insecurities and your fears and your anxieties onto somebody else. It's never okay to guilt trip somebody else. It's never okay for you to sit and stain your emotions and just assume that people are gonna coddle to your shit, right? That's never okay. And I think a lot of people have been conditioned to do that. They be like, oh, like, you offended me. Okay, like, why are you mad? And like, well, I don't know. Okay, what am I supposed to do with this? I mean, and it makes sense because it's like okay, you're offended, but you don't know why you're offended. That doesn't make any sense, you know? And what I'm trying to say, man, is like, a lot of people just want to be heard because they've never been seen. I'm saying it again. A lot of people want to be heard because they've never been seen. And it's true. Like we all work with somebody, or we all work with people who are like that. We just don't understand that, yo, like, you ain't gotta be so fucking loud, or you don't have to be X, Y, and Z, because you really don't, and me personally, like, I deal with a bunch of different range of people, every day, all day, so it's like, it doesn't really faze me, because it is what it is, right? And when you're dealing with people like that, it's like, they try their best to, I call it to trick you off your square, or to get you off your square, right? They try their best to distract you. And a lot of the times, it never works because you can see it coming a mile away. And I think at the end of the day, when you just mind your own business and you go on throughout your day with just understanding that, hey, it's okay, not everybody's gonna vibe with me, and that's fine. Not everybody's gonna understand me, and that's great. I have my core people here, my inner circle here that understands me, that I can bounce ideas off, I can do X, Y, and Z, and we can get it popping. I'm not gonna sit here and say that, oh, I got it all figured out, and this and this and that, because I don't. I'll be lying to you. I'll be lying to you if I said I did. And I think that's important. Understanding yourself and understanding that it's okay, and understanding that, life is short, but the moments are long, And what I mean by that is, like, when people die at any age range, whether you're in your teens, in your 20s, in your 30s, or if you get the chance, what I call, to complete the race. Complete the race means you live to 90 plus, right? And each experience that you have, it teaches you a lesson. there was this real popular kid in high school. He's a year younger than me. Um, he, I had graduated high school, and he was going into his senior year. That October, he dies in a skating accident. And it's sad because he's 16, 17 years old, and he's pretty decent athlete, you know, like really well-rounded athlete, and he was getting recruited by a couple schools to play football, whatever it is. And it was just one thing, you know, like this one split decision that he made that cost him his life, you know. And literally almost 20 years later, people still talk about him, man. It's like people still talk about the person he could have been, you know, if it wasn't for that mistake that he made. And to die in a skating accident the way he did was horrific too, you know. It was just something that, you know, when you look back on it and you think about it, people always think that they're invincible to certain things, right? Oh, people won't be like, oh, that won't happen to me until it happens to them. It's like how this past New Year's Eve, you had that explosion in Ali Mama. Same thing. People won't think that it's gonna happen to them until it happens to them. And it's sad, you know. It's sad when people end up losing their lives, you know, based off either their own negligence or somebody else's negligence as well. And I just look at situations like that, like, hey man, if you would have stopped and if you would have thought, you know. And it's unfortunate, you know, that things like that happen. It's unfortunate that things like that, you know, continue to happen because people just don't think. And when you don't think, you pay the consequences. And I think it's important to understand that too, because it's also something that's very what's the word I'm looking for? It's a very eye-opening situation. When I lost my brother, you know, that was an eye-opening situation for me. Like, okay, like, how can I get better and be better and do better, because I deserve to be, you know, not just better for myself, but just overall for people, right? A lot of people think I'm mean and standoffish, where I'm really not, because I'm actually, unless I'm mad comfortable around you, I'm really fucking quiet. I'm really shy. Where my brother, on the other hand, he was the complete opposite of that. Like this man would come into a room, he'd be like, boom, 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 boom. This nigga would walk out with 10 different friends after that, right? And it's like, I just look at that, I'm like, yo, like, how do you do that? You know what I mean? Or it's like, if I'm in an arena, whether it's music, bodybuilding, or just sports in general, it's like that a switch in me clicks and the athlete in me comes out, right? You know, the competitor in me comes out. So I automatically get engulfed in that. Or like when I'm prepping for a bodybuilding show and I'm standing backstage with some of the best amateur bodybuilders in the world, and we sitting down, we chopping it up about diet, training styles, intensity, all that shit, right? We saying all this shit. And it's like, on the flip side, it's like, I have my moments where I have to be by myself. I have to be, you know, just focused and just centered, right? Like when I'm making music, I try not to take any phone calls. I try not to answer any text messages unless it's super important, you know. I try to dedicate time every day to just honing in on my craft and making it better. Because if I don't take the time to, you know, have a safe space for myself, how can I be a safe space for somebody else, right? I was told once, and this person I care about deeply, they said, how can you be a safe space for me if you don't even allow that for yourself? And when they said that, it made sense because I'm like, oh, that makes sense because I can't be there for you in that particular way if I don't know how to be there for myself, you know? And if I don't know how to be there for myself, I'm actually a fraud because, like I said, how can I be there for you in a way that's conducive for you if I can't even do that for myself? So in a way, it just makes me think, it makes me realize, like, bruh, as bad as you want to help everybody else, my boy, as bad as you want to do that, you have to help yourself. And by helping yourself, you have to understand that it's okay for you to be vulnerable. It's okay for you to have difficult conversations. It's okay for you to open up and be vulnerable. You know, it's okay for you to do that. Because at the end of the day, you deserve that. You know, you deserve to have that safe space. You deserve to be that safe space. You deserve to have somebody who can hold your heart. You know, as delicate as it is in her hand, and walk you through whatever you're going through. You know, it's okay to realize that, you know, that some people that you thought was going to be there forever, they ain't going to be there forever. It's okay to realize that people that you placed importance on, they don't have the same importance for you that you had for them for you. Quick story, man. I was dealing with a death of somebody that I cared about very much, and this individual who was once my best friend at the time. Long story short, this person was in the hospital. Unbeknownst to me that they were. I thought we had more time, but they were dying faster than they were reaching death, you know, a lot quicker than they had life left. So I called this individual. I tell her what's going on, you know, leave a voice message, and they text me back, and they say, "Oh well, I'm out right now. Is there anything that you need?" I'm like, did you not listen to my voice message? Did you not hear what I just said to you on the voice message? And I simply said, hey, okay, it's cool. Don't worry about it. Enjoy your evening, because obviously it's, like you can't take the 30 seconds to listen to a voice message. So it's cool. And then they text back. And then they said, well, are you sure? Like, no, I said, yeah, I'm cool. Enjoy your evening. Because that tells me where I stand. It's like, I don't have to sit here and justify how the fuck I'm feeling, because it's clear that you don't feel the same. And of course they try to guilt trip me, do all that shit. But at the end of the day, you have to realize that the importance that you place on some people, they don't have the same importance for you. And that's the end of this podcast, man. That's the end of this episode, all right? This is 23 minutes of your life that y'all won't get back, but I thank y'all for peeping in with me every Sunday. And those who do watch it, and those who do leave me feedback, whatever it is, hit the subscribe button too. Hope y'all keeping it full peace. Private player, positive, and pushing. I'll see y'all next week Sunday. Love y'all, ghosts. And like I always say, know your worth because you're better than what you are. Peace. Happy New Year, guys. Later.